I want to touch on Chris Christie for a moment. There was two stories. I mean, one is a week or two ago, there was a report in the New York Post that was widely misinterpreted. It seems to me that Chris Christie was exonerated in the Bridgegate scam, and all it basically said was, at this point, prosecutors had no evidence that he knew had any foreknowledge of the Bridgegate closing. It didn't say anything about any knowledge he had after the fact. It didn't say anything about the other literally half dozen investigations and issues that they were being investigated. And so you were sort of like,
yeah, this guy's being looked at for all sorts of things. There's that Hoboken. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
And Hoboken, the Sandy money, and one of the things that he's also being investigated, I think by two different agencies, is his reappropriation. And I think this is by the SEC. And I'm not sure why the SEC would be doing it, but the Manhattan U.S. attorney for reappropriating funds that were earmarked for a tunnel project under the Hudson River. There was in the 2010 or 2009 Recovery Act, the stimulus, there was money set aside for a new tunnel to be built from New Jersey to New York to bring trains in. And it was called ARC, or the Access Regions Corps. And it would have alleviated some of the strain from the only two existing tunnels that are both 100 years old. They're underneath the Hudson. They're single track for trains. They're stuffed. They're stuffed chock-a-block during rush hour. Something like 400,000 people use those trains every day, and there was going to be an $8 to $10 billion, let's call it $9 billion. The federal government was going to kick in for this ARC project. Construction started in 2009. They spent several $100 million in, right-of-ways and initial work and planning and whatnot. And then Christie canceled the plan, saying that New Jersey was going to be stuck with 70% of the bill. That was later debunked because the Government Accountability Office report showed they were getting, was like 14%. And Christie took that money that was earmarked for that project, that was already in New Jersey coffers, in the Port Authority coffers, and spent it on other stuff that are all tied into sort of these sweetheart deals for his cronies' things. So, flash forward to yesterday, Amtrak announces that over the next 3 or 4 years, they're going to have to close one or two or both of those tunnels at one time or another, in addition to a tunnel that services New Jersey trains anyways, that goes to the East River on the other side of Manhattan. Apparently they store their trains there because of damage from Sandy. And if they shut down one of these two tunnels coming from New Jersey, it is going to be apocalyptic in terms of...
You've ever wrote on that before, you will know what this is if they shut those down.
If they shut down one of the tunnels, that means that the other tunnel is in only half use. I mean, it's not just you lose that tunnel, the first tunnel then. So it's basically you're cutting down the capacity down to 25% of what exists now. And
so it'd be like the bridge all over again.
Yeah, except for the bridge.
He gets to relive his greatest hits.
So, and then the question is, does this happen before 2016 when, this would just, the economic impact of this would be huge.
I'm sorry. There's so many, this is a big one, but there's a lot of the stuff connected to Sandy. There's so much dirt on this guy. You know what I mean? The fact that people are scared of him, I'd love for him to be their nominee. I mean, he can try his tough guy thing all he wants. There's so many deals like this. Like the opposition researchers would get so wealthy. They'd be like, give us a year to look into everything on this guy. That's amazing, though. So yeah, they declared him, fit to run again. Of course, this pops up, and more of this stuff will. He's still the same corrupt guy he was before.